how much damage do you think social comparison and social media is doing for people's perceptions of themselves and their health and how they look at food? Because more so than ever, any point in history now, it's readily available as an opportunity to go, oh, someone's eating like this, but they look like that, or I don't eat this, and I feel bad because I eat more than they do. How much is that a factor in these circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge factor. We look to, especially Instagram and TikTok now, to kind of look at what the standard is for men or women of our age, or people in certain jobs, or other single women, or other women in relationships, whatever the case may be, other fitness people. And in the past, you know, when I was growing up, when you were growing up, we would compare as a teenager to our best mate, to the popular person in school. That was really the limit. Then we would maybe get onto some magazines when we were a teenager, and I don't really know the men's magazines, but the women's magazines were quite toxic in the sense of we were being told how to diet from the age of 14. So that wasn't great. But that's when the social comparison starts. Whereas nowadays, you've got kids who are 8 with phones on TikTok. And this is not a judgment, because I'm sure if I had a kid who was 8 right now, I'd probably have them on a phone on TikTok too. This is not a judgment, but they are exposed to this type of comparison basically from this time that they can talk and see and understand what they're doing. And it's really, really pervasive. Social comparison theory tells us that for a lot of people, upward social comparison, i.e. comparing to people who we think has something better than us or more than us, is generally demoralizing. For some people, it can be motivating. But when it comes to body image, we know, like the research is there, social media use is associated with increased disordered eating, reduced body image, and that's time spent on social media. And again, especially the lockdown, social media everyone was on their phones 3-4 times their usual amount of time on through their day. But the evidence there, we know that comparison in body image and food impacts our relationship with the body. But what it's exacerbated by is things like people saying, this is what I eat in a day, and then they stick that post next to a picture of themselves in a bikini with abs. And so you look at that and you go, well, if she eats that, then that's probably what I should eat. Not remembering the fact that this person is, say, me, who has been through bodybuilding, done years and years of competing, dieting, building muscle, and now it's like this because this is what suits my lifestyle. But the reason my body is like this is because of the last 15 years, plus genetics, plus socioeconomic factors, and all of these things. But it's so much easier to look at someone and say, oh, that we want a quick fix, we want that kind of instant gratification, and we go, oh, well, they do that, so I must do that too. Or we've got influencers who are very lean, talking about cellulite and body fat rolls, and for anyone in a larger body, which is 95% of the population, they see these things and they compare and they say, well, if that's what cellulite looks like, what does mine look like? If that is what they think is supposed to be quote unquote bad. And it's very hard to escape this, especially with the way social media algorithms work. You know, I deliberately follow people who are people of colour, people in larger bodies. I try and keep a diverse social media feed, but if I go onto my Explore page, it's still thin, white, able-bodied women because I post fitness content, and so that's always what they propel. So it's very, very difficult to notice it. And I think the only thing you can do is try and do all these things, but also just take time off social media and have quite a clear rule with yourself where you're not just picking up your phone and scrolling all the time.
Hi, thanks for watching this clip. If you enjoyed this content, click here to watch the full unedited version of this episode.